Marine.
Okay. So, tell me again how you guys met.
Okay.
We were both well, I was working when I first started going downtown, but I was addicted to crack, but I was functional for a while, so I would drive my Jeep downtown, you know, to score whatever I was going to score. And there was a village of tents with homeless people, and that's where I would go, and I would, you know, hide in people's tents, and then get up and, you know, go back home and go back to work, whatever. And it got to the point where I was working in recovery at that time. I was a counselor, so I couldn't, you know, be counseling and abusing drugs. So I lost my job, lost my Jeep. Well, the police confiscated it, and just started running around downtown with everybody. And I ended up putting a tent up where he was in charge of cleaning and stuff. And, you know, I was really leery about trusting anyone out there. And him and I became really close friends. And he was like the only person I could trust out there. You know, when I'd be tired, I knew I could fall asleep, and he would, you know, stand guard or whatever. And we just stayed friends for a long time out there. A long time. And then...
We've been friends 15 years now.
Yeah. And then it got to the point where we kept everybody away from us because everybody was getting so crazy, and you know, they were backstabbing or whatever. So as friends, we just kind of isolated ourselves. And one day we were tired, and we were in back of a freeway in a tent, and he had a court case where he was supposed to go to a program. And I said, well, if you go in a program, I'll go too, because I'd been in a program before. And I said, well, both veterans, let's go to the VA. So we just got up and went to the VA. And I figured we'd be there 90 days, and then, you know, we'd get out. Well, when we went to the Dom, we were married, you know, the only married couple that were both vets, and had actually come there to get treatment. And when they screened us, they're like, no, because there's no fraternization. You know, the women have their own track, the men, because they keep them separate. And we're like, that's fine, you know, we'll be okay. But they thought we would focus on each other and not, you know, what we were there for. And we figured we'd be there 90 days, his court thing would be done, and that'd be it. But we ended up staying there and both really focusing on ourselves. And you know, it was like we really got some internal stuff done where we didn't really think we were going to go there and get the help we needed. A lot of therapeutic stuff. We were able to both separately, you know, look at our issues, you know, deal with them. And then they even made an exception and had a marriage therapist there where she would, you know, she had her own business. She was a marriage counselor besides her VA job. And she really took an interest at you know, us as a couple, and once a week she'd have sessions with us where we wouldn't really get into our personal what we were going through, but just going through therapy as a married couple, you know, what issues would come up. And so I think it strengthened our marriage a lot, because, you know, being married and both having issues is not, you know, but both of us going to treatment at the same time also helped, because, you know, I was able to know what he was going through, he was able to know what I was going through. So everybody was like shocked.
There's tools that you pick up in these sessions. There's coping skills you get. We know we have tempers. Well, we're going through anger management together, to where it's not physical, and it's not even that much verbal conflict anymore, because we know when in doubt we can move and come back and not elude the situation, but we can come back, and now we have a clearer head to find out why we were both getting ready to split each other's wigs, spiritually as well as, you know, mentally, physically. we took the time to want this healing. Is where it started. We wanted this healing.
Too, both of us are veterans, but women go through a lot different stuff in the military than men do. So there was sexual harassment, there was sometimes trauma, you know, being a woman in the military. So of course the therapy I'm going through, you know, a lot of stuff comes out that I don't want to take out on him, you know, but he understands because he's going through his own therapy and stuff. So, you know, we were really grateful for that because within a lot of veteran families, because of PTSD and stuff, you know, there's a high divorce rate. Especially a civilian being married to a veteran, they don't really understand what issues a veteran has.
Because they just don't have it. Most of the issues stem from a child upbringing. And then you're reconstructed when you're in the military to be straight and narrow, cut and dry. But then when you go through an active part of military, you know, not a reservist or just back in the cut, she was in longer than I was. So there's definitely more issues that they compiled upon her. And I'm trying to get fixed, she's trying to get fixed, and the next thing we know, we're blowing up at each other on something as simple as, why didn't you pick up that piece of paper and I just straightened up the house? Well, I just set the paper. It's too late. You should have picked it up. Or you should. Those little simple things can cause a blowout in anybody's house. But now we understand that that paper is going to move. When I move, it'll move. You know? Or maybe he's got something on his mind, or maybe she's got something on her mind. And we're able to give the space for them to go through whatever's necessary. It's hard to see that your spouse is hurting and you can't help them because you don't know how to help them. They don't know how to be. They don't even know what's bothering them. You know, there's times I'm so closed down with smiles and stuff that it's not to be seen. And maybe her is that she will shut down. And you can see, honey, what's going on? I don't know. Well, come on, let's talk about it. I don't know. How can I talk to you about something I'm not knowing what I'm going through? Those are the issues that we're haunted with.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you guys been married?
3 years.
3 years, November 21st.
Mm-hmm.
Just as past, November 21st. We spent our 3rd year anniversary in our new place.
Yes, he's dramatic.
Well.
But you guys have been knowing each other for 15 years, you said? 15?
Yeah.
And we lived together for
7 years.
7 years.
Common law.
Yeah, but once we ended up leaving our old neighborhood, my old neighborhood on Van Ness and 39th, and we went out to Denver, and we found a wonderful church out there that we got married in. And we slept in the same bed because we went to a marriage class there. Marriage counseling. And we slept in the same bed for 4 months till we completed our marriage therapy. And holy hug.
Got married. He's so proud of that.
Yeah. We honored and obeyed what God had set for us, you know. That's the biggest thing, you know. He's lent us a life, you know. He's lent us joy. He lent me a wife. Because actually you're his. So am I. But anyway, this is beautiful.
Therapy.
Yeah, see, it all come with that. This come with territory. And so do y'all, you know.
So how long were you guys living on the street before you decided to get help before you decided to go to the program?
Which time?
Let's.
I was court ordered 17 times.
He was out there about 20 years. I was out there about at least
20 years.
15. 10, 15.
We figured there was no legitimate help there with the government. We'd listen to stories and we'd watch men just, why are you guys still out here? You guys are vets. Well, I'm gonna hanging out with the vets. No, they have help up there, the VA. Oh, why are they still out here then?
Actually, getting out of the military and going through what we went, you know, like as a female, going through what I went through in the military, I wanted nothing to do with it when I got out. So I wouldn't, and that's what the problem is with a lot of women is, you know, we've been harassed, whatever, and when I was in, it was okay. They turn their back or turn their heads when, you know, sexual harassment or whatever came up. And there was a real publicized case where a sergeant took her senior to court because of, I guess he sexually assaulted her, and they ended up court-martialing her because they wouldn't believe that, you know, a senior ranking person would do that. So that's why a lot of women don't go to the VA for help. Plus, there's like 10 women and, you know, 100 men. So, you know, I mean, the PTSD and stuff is just really hard. Now they have a women's clinic, which they built about 5 years ago, yeah, which the women don't have to go in the main clinic. You know, it's just a women's, where men can't even go in the clinic, mm-hmm, you know, to get help and stuff. So that's one thing that I think more women, plus the women are coming back from Iraq, so, you know, they have to make something to where the women will get the help they need.
This new baby, the Iraqi baby coming in here, they have the fundamentals from Vietnam era and Desert Storm era, that this baby coming in here now is dangerous. They think the kids now are just dangerous. The regular civilian kids are dangerous. They've got trained thugs coming back home.
Actually, they don't really have the therapists or the staff there that can handle these guys coming back. You know, because their PTSD is so violent that they don't. Once a veteran gets violent in a program, they kick them out because they don't have this, you know, the people there that have the knowledge how to handle this. Plus, vets won't open up unless more often than not that they're talking to other vets because they don't feel like, you know, they understand where they're coming from if they're not a vet. Mm-hmm. And they still have veterans from Vietnam that haven't received treatment because of the way the programs are run. You know, they want to leave. Yeah. Because as soon as they act out, you know, they're mentally messed up, and as soon as they act out, they kick them out. Oh, you got violent, you gotta go, you know, and that's lame. That's the only way they know how to act because they're not getting the treatment they need. Mm-hmm. So that's, you know, one thing why the VA doesn't help as many as they should.
That was right.
Yeah.
That used to be shower time for me when I was homeless. What?
So now you guys are actually telling your story to the other vets that are at the VA with you. Like you get a chance to like relay a message or to teach others a lesson.
Right. We what? Can you still see? Okay.
Yeah, you keep going.
Being a married couple and going through the DOM.
What'd you do?
A lot of eyes were on us, you know, because a lot of the guys have civilian wives, and they were going through a lot of problems because of they don't understand their treatment and stuff. So, you know, a lot of them will come to us or call us up, you know, hey, my wife's going through this, can you guys, or can your wife talk to her, or, you know, because they saw us successfully do the program, get our housing, you know, because when we went in there, we were focused. We're like, we set our goals, this is what we're not going to leave until we get. And, you know, they give you resources, but we had to, you know, dig and find a lot of our own resources. And that's what we did. We bugged everybody, you know, went up the chain and stuff, so. But with the resources we did get, we were able to pass them on. And then I worked at the, in the computer room for a while. And a lot of those vets don't even know how to turn a computer on. So I was able to help them get, because a lot of the VA forms are now online. You have to apply online, so I was able to help them, you know, put their paperwork in, get their education, VRAP and stuff, so.
Okay.
It's a good thing.
Are you also taking classes on Saturdays, or is it?
Yes.
It's the same.
We're
Is it the
both
same
doing-
class, or is it different?
Yeah, it's the same class.
Same class. Okay.
Because what we found out is we have to have some kind of certification, because we both want to work at the VA, you know, to help vets in any, whatever way we can. So our internship will be done there.
I ruffle the feathers.
You.
I ruffle the feathers. I find myself, as well as my wife, if she learns a piece of it, if she learns a piece of information that they've had hidden, we're going to make sure it's known. We're going to put it out there.
Yeah, it gets to where the staff comes to us. Do you know where these vets can get, you know?
And that's what the grateful part is that our treatment went so well. In Jesus, thank you. Our treatment went so well, and our recovery's going so well, that they look forward to seeing us come. And even one of the therapists there, we give a Bible study there on Saturdays after our class, our school. And he asked us to allow him to get copies of our lesson plan for our Bible study, so he gives sermons at his church, utilizing the studies that the Lord's put upon our heart to just use for us to share. And there are other avenues that she's made so accessible for us that people want to walk that same path. And I never thought I'd have anybody else following behind me, because we've been in that life so long. The only people that come after you, people who want you for your drugs or your alcohol. But now we have people with some clarity in their life, or wanting this because they see the clarity in our life, that they want to, hey, they want a girlfriend to go through the program with, or they want a companion to go through. And, you know, it feels good to see that people are looking up towards us. They're not idolizing. They look for the hope. They look for more hope. And all we can do is be embracive to them, you know.
And you know, a lot of the programs at the VA, they have a curriculum they have to follow. They're federal, so they have certain things they can and can't do in groups, or it's like mass therapy. So there's not a lot of individual therapy to where they, you know, it's just like a set. This is a 90-day program, this is what you do. So, you know, we just go there and try to let them know you got to do what you got to do. You know, it's got to be a personal thing. Whereas the VA, all you're going to get is, you know, the generic, this is how you do it. You know, they give them tools, but each person's different, you know, and their needs and stuff. So, you know, when they call us and stuff, you know, we just share what we've done and see if they can use it or not. But, you know, there's no one set way that somebody can get clean or restore their lives. So, you know.
Well, there is.
It's not a fail or pass or fail kind of thing, you know. They just got to do what works for them. So.
Okay. Thank you guys again so much. Is there anything else that you think that I should know? Is there, like, closing comments that you have?
Yeah, if all of us can have a group hug.
Group hug.
I mean,
Yeah, they just, you know, there are things there for the veterans. They just have to be willing to go through the process. And it is a long process.
And to make sure that if you're going to start this journey, don't give up. Because this change is for the rest of your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's got to be commitment. Cause
You have to be patient with this. Because it took you a long time to get where you're at, to ask for the help. So don't expect everybody to embrace you. Oh, you come in to get help. You just got to stay there for yourself. The help is there. Just take your time in getting well. You know, if you break a bone, you can't heal it up a couple of days. It takes time to get healed, and then it's going to take some time to be able to be strong enough to use it again. This is what we're doing with our life. It's repairing.
Thank you.
Well,